As many of you may know, I have been on a slow boat moving into my house, and I've been so stressed out about how I'm going to decorate and what is going on my hallways. Thankfully, Framebridge has come into my life. I can easily order online at framebridge.com or visit a Framebridge retail store and print whatever kind of images I want for my home. Whether it's a travel souvenir, my favorite photos from my travels, or just pictures of my kids, I know it's going to get done and it's going to look good. All you have to do is upload a digital photo for them to print and mail your item using their free, secure, prepaid packaging, or visit one of their 20-plus retail stores. Framebridge custom frames your piece in their studio using the highest quality materials and ships it to your door in days for free. I can't wait to visit one of their locations. I'm going to take in some of my old concert stubs so I can hang it in my office. I love to see things that I've done and experienced in life, and they motivate me to work even harder. When you think of Framebridge, just remember it's easy and affordable to custom frame just about anything. It's fair and transparent upfront pricing based simply on the size of your item. There's a curated selection of frame styles with design experts on hand who make it fun to choose the perfect frame. There's fast service, free shipping, and it's great for gifts. Order online or get expert help at a retail location near you. And don't forget, happiness is guaranteed. If you're not 100% happy with your piece, they'll make it right. See why Framebridge has been trusted to frame over 2 million pieces. Visit framebridge.com or a local Framebridge store to get started and custom frame just about anything. That's framebridge.com. Welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast. 3 moms getting real with parenthood, relationships, and our WTF moments of our daily lives. Hi, you guys. Today we are missing Shy and Kyle if you are watching the YouTube, but if not, then it's just, you're hearing me and Remy's beautiful voices today.
Hello, everyone. It is your co-host.
Your co-host, Remy. Today I kind of want to start off with being just super transparent and just super real with you guys. If you guys are watching or if not, I just wanted to address that this week, and the reason why I wasn't here last week is because we had a tragic sudden loss. I lost my brother, my oldest brother. I have 2 brothers, and my oldest brother lives in DC, and we lost him. He passed away last week, and it's been really difficult. A lot of emotions, a lot of memories, a lot of just processing losing a sibling. I've never lost somebody close to me before. I've always lost I guess I've lost a grandmother, things like that. But losing somebody that's coming out this is going to sound crazy, but the same womb as you is a little bit different. It hits different. Then also somebody that I've looked up to all my life. Both of my older brothers, and I'm the only girl. I really look up to my older brothers, and a lot of who they are is a lot of who I am. My oldest brother was, always showed me music and things like that. So it's been a journey, to say the least. I'm still in the thick of it since it's been a week now. And I just wanted to be transparent with you guys. I know you guys know me, so I wanted to just be super real because if my energy is off, if, you guys are sensing something different with me, that is the reason. And I just wanted to come on here and make sure that you guys are a part of my journey. I know you guys are our prayer warriors as well, so making sure that you guys are just have a little bit of taste of what's going on in my life right now.
You're so brave for sharing that, Shannon.
Thank you.
Because that's so hard. Losing anyone is difficult, but losing a brother, losing a sibling, like you said, someone who, came out of the same womb, it just hits different.
It's very different.
So how are you? Like in the midst of it all, like center of your soul and your heart, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like my emotions are mixed every day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes it's all the what ifs.
Yeah.
The what ifs as in like, I wish I could have told you this. I wish I could have said I'm sorry. I wish I didn't hold things against you that I did for so long.
Yeah.
With my oldest brother, it was like a love-hate relationship once we got older.
Mm-hmm.
And just things that I didn't agree with or, you know, all those things. But now that he is gone, and I hate this when you lose somebody, you think back like, dang, I wish I would have given him my love. Or dang, I wish the last time I saw you, I hugged you a little bit closer to me and told you I loved you. So I think I'm just still in the midst of mixed emotions. My parents went away this week on Sunday, and it's been difficult. So they get back today, and I'm really happy because you just want your family that much closer to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like your family always, like, they understand what you're feeling, and everyone, and I'm learning for myself that everyone grieves very differently.
Yeah.
Everyone, you know, some people want to be by themselves. Some people want to have everybody around them.
Yeah.
Some people are like, it is too much. Like sometimes, like I've noticed I've gone out a couple times, and I'm like, whoa, this is too much for me.
Yeah, like retreat.
Yeah, like somebody take me home.
Yeah.
Take me home. I went to the mall the other day, and I was like, what am I doing here?
It's too much. Lord,
I told the cash register, I said, girl, why is there so many people at the mall today?
She's like, there's always people at the mall. Why are you here? So that's the same reason they're here.
Yeah, so I've been grieving. I really have my ups and downs. I think for me is looking at pictures and memories is helping me. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because I was talking to my niece. My brother had a daughter who lives in Fresno with her mom. Mm-hmm. So checking on my niece and, you know, wondering about her, how she's grieving and all those things. And I was asking her, I was like, oh, so what? I was like, do pictures help you? Like, you know, bring up memories and thoughts and stuff. And she said it makes it worse for her. So it's really, like I said, it's my first time losing somebody that's so
close to you,
close to me.
So you're even trying to figure out what does my grieving process look like?
Exactly. And how do I, you know, because I know I have, like, I feel like I have this, I don't know, not heaviness, but I have a certain aura about me right now. Not an aura, is it?
You're just weighty.
I feel like I'm very weighty.
Yeah. So and that's to be expected when you're grieving. If you weren't weighty, then you'd be putting on a facade.
Yeah.
So just know that it is absolutely okay for you to grieve. Like, we need to grieve publicly more often so that people know it's normal. We're forced to always, like, you know, put on a hat and show up to work and say I'm okay and I have it together. But the blessing about your job is that you get to show up to work as yourself.
Yes.
Like, you get to come to work sad. And you get to come to work and say, hey, guys, here's what I'm going through. And hopefully someone on the other end of it is set free in some way or another just by hearing your vulnerability and hearing your courage to share, because it takes so much boldness and almost like to open up with something like this. You're obviously opening the door for other people to come in and be critical. And the message that you're sending is, this is my life, it's my story, and I this is a part of me, and I'm going to share it. And I'm not afraid to be vulnerable, and I'm not afraid to show you, like, what my heart looks like right now.
Yeah, thank you, Remy. I really need to hear that, because it was weighing on my heart last week. I really wanted to come in and share it last week because I was like, okay, well, here I am open, just
here I am to be open with you guys and to be transparent. And the girls were like,
too soon.
Yeah. Like, sit, please. Like, because I haven't fully grieved. And I think grieving comes in seasons and ways and stages and minutes and hours. So they're like, maybe not just now.
Yeah.
But today it was heavy on my heart when I was driving. And I was like, maybe they'll see, like, I can go through another topic. Like, I can punch through it, but
you'd rather not.
I rather not punch through a topic and not give my all on a topic. I'm feeling so passionate about the loss of my brother right now, and just because I love him, and it's heavy on my heart. So I wanted to share that with y'all, and
How old is your niece?
My niece is 15. So their relationship was a long distance relationship. And so my brother lives in DC and she lives out here in Fresno with her mom. And for her, they had an estranged relationship just because he wasn't here all the time, and she was raised by her mom. And when he would come out here, my niece would come to our house and, they would have their bonding time. But, which is crazy because the last time he was supposed to come out was Easter, and he didn't make it to our house just because of, I think the schedule didn't work well, and she was supposed to see her dad. And I think those type of things are like, dang, I wish he would have came. Yeah. Or I wish I could have had that moment. When I talked to her, she was saying, or I talked to her mom, and she told me that, she regrets not seeing him on Easter or being able to see him because she wish he could have seen who she is today. And that hit because my niece is this beautiful, talented 15-year-old that has all his traits. She's an artist, and my brother's the most beautiful. He does beautiful artwork. And it just, that really hit me. I'm like, oh, wow. It's just, those things that you really do take from your parents, no matter if you have an estranged relationship with your mother or father.
Yeah.
It's in your DNA. It's in your DNA. Yeah. So it's just, reaching out to her every day and making sure that she's okay. But I think, she's still processing, the what ifs and things like that. And I also, like, a lot of people keep telling me just giving myself grace and compassion, like you were saying, compassion, just being gentle with myself.
Yeah.
And not beating myself up.
And since this is your first time going through a loss like this, it probably feels so foreign.
It's beyond foreign.
Yeah, you're like, what is my body going through? Where's the anger coming from? Where's the sadness coming from? Like, what is going on?
And it comes at the oddest times, like during the night and stuff like that. Have you ever lost anybody that is super close to you?
Yes, I have. I lost my dad when I was 12.
Wow.
I lost my granddad when I was 2020, how old was I in 2020? 29. My granddad was the most recent.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the biggest loss I've had as an adult.
Oh, wow.
I lost my stepdad's mom a few years before I lost my granddad, and that was very sudden and terrifying.
Yeah.
I always appreciate the opportunity to say goodbye, even though closure is a luxury. With my granddad, he was sick.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew it was coming.
So you had your
opportunity. It took years to happen, but I had the opportunity over several years to spend as much time with him as I possibly could because I knew it was coming. And I hate that is sometimes the only way that we take our loved one seriously is when we know that their time is limited. But everyone's time is limited. It's just that when we have the knowledge of it, we act differently. And it's almost as if we should have that mentality with everyone. Like, we should treat every single relationship
like
as
you're
not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. How can I love you so intensely in this moment that if I never have the opportunity to again, that impact lasts? Like, so, like, just imprinted in my heart.
And yes again.
And that was the mindset I had with my granddad. And losing him was still extremely hard, but I had so many amazing memories that I was able to almost like grieve through a lens of joy. Yeah. Which sounds crazy. I did not have the same experience with my dad because I was so young. Yeah. But with my granddad, I was able to understand that we're borrowed. Where he was, you know, like we're here for a certain amount of time, and when God decides to take us back, then that's a decision that is completely up to him, and we don't know when that day is. Gonna be, but all we have to do is all we can do is take full advantage of all the relationships that we do currently have. Yeah. And when that person is taken away from us, it will be so nice to just say, I like the memory of you is enough to fuel me. And that is so hard. I still don't feel that way about my dad. Like, I still don't feel that way. I'm like, oh, yeah. I still get really sad. And it's been, I don't even know how long it was, but since I was 12, I can't do mental math.
No, you're fine. I can't either. So I'm not going to try with you.
But when you were talking about your niece and how the pictures were harder for her, I could totally relate to that, because when it is sudden, it almost feels like it's unreal. Like, you don't really believe it. Like, I kept telling myself, maybe he's on vacation. I would call, listen to his voicemail. Aww. Like, he's just going away for a little bit. He'll be back. And my small, like, my 12-year-old mind, that was my protection from, like, really being affected by the grief. So my heart breaks for your sweet little niece. Like, anyone who loses a parent, loses a sibling, a grandparent, a friend, like, it's hard. You know, no matter how much time we have to prepare for it, no matter how many times we are able to say goodbye, even if we spend all the time in the world telling that person we love them, when they're taken away from us, it is incredibly difficult.
It is. I think like you said, like with something that's so sudden taken away from us, it's, like you said, it's so unreal. Yeah. And I think last week, it's still unreal to me, but somebody told me that they came to see me and they're like, I just thought you would be a little bit more different. And I was like, what does that mean? Yeah, what did you expect to see me as? And I think they expected to see me just bawling and crying and whatever. And I said, you know what? I really don't know what to tell you, because I think I'm still in shock. Right. I think I still am, because whenever I think about my brother, or going down memory lane, I just like, we can call him, or we can do this, I could do that. I think I'm still in shock, and watching my mother and my dad grieving as well, it's interesting. Since going back, I think I hear them a little bit more heavy, because I think here they had an opportunity to flee away with how many people were coming over, and all the people just, all their foot traffic with coming in and out of our house. And it's just like, it's an unreal feeling. Right. It's so surreal. It's like, it's like a movie. Like, oh, it's not, we didn't get that call, or that didn't happen.
Have you ever watched a movie a second time hoping that it's different? Or am I the only weirdo who does that? So many times I watch a movie again and I'm like, maybe it'll change.
Maybe it'll just change. I think
life is so
sudden. Is so fragile. Yeah. And you have to make sure that the people that you love, or even if you're holding a grudge towards somebody and you don't agree with them, making sure that, it's not a forever. It's not something that you're going to hold against them for life, because I think that my relationship with my oldest brother, like I said, I think the thing that I'm holding on to at moments, other than like our precious childhood memories, I think when we got older, I just didn't agree with a lot of like his relationships and him not being there for his daughter, and just different things like that. I think I held a lot of like, be better. I hold you up to here. I hold you up high.
And you're not meeting that.
And you're not
so,
meeting.
Like, I don't have no time for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally. And I thought about last week. I'm like, why did I hold this over my brother's head for so long? And it's because you hold your siblings and the people that you love the most up so high.
Yeah.
And to high standards. And I held them up so high to the highest standard because when I was little, I was like, oh my God, you're so amazing.
Yeah, like you're my big brother.
You're my big brother. You're
fantastic.
so, yeah, like you're taking me here, you're showing me this, you're showing me that.
And then you feel let down.
And then when I got let down after I become a mother, after I, started understanding like dynamics of like different things, I was like, dude, come on. So I have really struggled with that of like, I'm sorry I wasn't a good sister when you needed me.
Yeah.
Or when when you came, I gave you a cold shoulder. So those are the things that I have
guilt.
A lot of guilt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, praying and saying, I'm sorry. I wish I would have embraced you how you embraced me. But the last time I saw him, he was so happy. So
you have that to hold on to.
I have that to hold on to.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you're feeling the guilt. That is so real and so honest of you. And sometimes I wonder, like, in such a broken world, what is the purpose of such hurt and such pain? And I know God uses all things to work for our good, for those who love him. And as you were talking, it occurred to me that like maybe God uses the loss of others to heal us. And maybe God is using the loss of your brother to peel back the layers of judgment and to allow you to speak about those layers of judgment and say like, no matter how much someone does not live aligned to your expectations, does it weigh more than your responsibility to love them? We're called to love, and that's it. We're not called to judge. We're not called to like puppeteer other people's lives. Like, we don't have to agree, but not agreeing doesn't excuse us from loving. And I find myself in that situation quite often, whereas you just want better for people, but you don't realize that you may or may not be coming off judgmental. And there's a lot of people in my life that I just want better for. And sometimes it causes me to just like almost want to give up on them. Yeah. And what has been revealed to me through this season is that it's not up to me to fix them. It's just up to me to submit them to the Lord. Like, it's up to me to pray for them. Yeah. And then love them still, whether or not they change, whether or not they decide to be a better person to my standards, whatever that means. But like, how can we operate through that place of you are a precious human being regardless of the decisions you make, regardless of your mistakes? You are a precious human being and you deserve love. And I think if we can just unlock the love, then so many people will be set free. Like, so many people. And that's just something that I've been passionate about lately. And Brandon and I talk about this all the time. It's like, how can we change the world by loving? Like, that's it. Yeah. Just love. Just love. You'd have to. Everyone. The no people who vote differently, the people who marry differently, the people who are in jail right now for killing people, people who are in jail for the most heinous crimes. Like, those people deserve love. And like, us as humans are so like, we're quick to selfish, judge. That if it does not align with our orbit, then we automatically write them off as people that we need to care about. So sometimes that's why we go through things like this, to be like, you know what? I do feel convicted that I didn't love well enough, but I am going to hope that the love I did give him was enough for him. Like, for you, you may feel like you let him down, but he may not have those same feelings. Like, I don't think he did. Yeah. He probably doesn't. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's so crazy because you do have to love no matter what.
Yeah.
It's literally been my lesson this last couple weeks. Mm-hmm. And I love that you brought that up because it's so real for everyone to hear. And I just pray that if anyone does have those feelings towards anyone, mm-hmm. just to make sure that, you just, what you're doing might not be what I want for you in your life.
But how do I love you?
But how do I love you? And let me show you that.
Yeah.
Because that's something that just really has been weighing on my heart. But I know he loved me because every time I would see him, he would just light up. And I was his baby sister. And my aunt, always told me, like, he prayed for you. And, like, once you came, no one else, like, all the aunties didn't matter no more. They weren't,
That's so special.
Literally. And, like, I think about, like, how he always embraced me no matter what. And I was always his little Shay. That's what he called me. And just, like, he always just... me and Parker's biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
He would just flaunt us and just say how, like, beautiful I was. And so I know that my coldness, anytime he saw me, like, if I did give him coldness,
it wasn't reciprocated. He adored you.
Adored me.
That's big. But that's a big brother for you.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm getting teary-eyed is because, like, I'm thinking of my big brother who I want to give more grace to. During, like, as we're talking about it, I'm just like, how you have conversations with people, but there's a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that so much because we're changing every day if we allow it. Mm-hmm. And change is so good and it's so healthy, and having conversations where your heart feels convicted it's only a signal that, like, this is something that you need to really pay attention to. And recently, I wasn't going to share this, but my older brother, he lives in Philadelphia, mm-hmm. and he got upset with me because he said I didn't tell him about my baby, about, like, me being pregnant.
Yeah.
And I tried to call him. Yeah. To tell him. I called
before
him on
everyone
FaceTime,
else. Yeah.
And I also texted him saying I had something to tell you. And he was just, like, very upset that, like, he thought that I didn't think to tell him first. And that kind of broke my heart because I'm like, why?
Why wouldn't I do that? Yeah.
Why wouldn't I tell you? Like, you're my brother. And you kind of... like, I don't know, whenever I go back to Philadelphia, he wants to, like, parade me around. But then there's those moments like this that has you, like, annoyed almost, where you just kind of want to throw in the towel and be like, forget it. I tried. That's good enough.
Right. I did what I left.
And I'm so humbled in this moment because that was my posture. I was like, I sent him a screenshot and I left it there. Like, I didn't even have the humility to pick up the phone and say, I'm so sorry you feel that way. I definitely did call you. I did text you.
I did the things.
And I don't know what happened between my communication going out and it being received, but here's my heart behind it. And I think so often we leave it at, I'm annoyed.
Yes.
And we don't go the extra mile to say, I actually had no intentions on hurting you, and I'm so sorry that you received it that way. Yeah. That enough
is, like, just all you needed to.
It's all you need. It's like sometimes we just get so offended by the way someone receives us that we shut down and we're unable to love. And all that reveals is I really feel left out of your life. And I should have received it that way.
I'm sorry you're feeling that way at the moment.
Instead of, like, here's a screenshot.
Here.
Right.
I gave it to you.
Send next.
Send next. I'm doing with my life. Moving on.
As many of you may know, I have been on a slow boat moving into my house. And I've been so stressed out about how I'm going to decorate and what is going on my hallways. Thankfully, Framebridge has come into my life. I can easily order online at framebridge.com or visit a Framebridge retail store and print whatever kind of images I want for my home. Whether it's a travel souvenir of my favorite photos from my travels or just pictures of my kids, I know it's going to get done and it's going to look good. All you have to do is upload a digital photo for them to print and mail your item using their free, secure, prepaid packaging, or visit one of their 20-plus retail stores. Framebridge custom frames your piece in their studio using the highest quality materials and ships it to your door in days for free. I can't wait to visit one of their locations. I'm going to take in some of my old concert stubs so I can hang it in my office. I love to see things that I've done and experienced in life, and they motivate me to work even harder. When you think of Framebridge, just remember it's easy and affordable to custom frame just about anything. It's fair and transparent upfront pricing based simply on the size of your item. There's a curated selection of frame styles with design experts on hand who make it fun to choose the perfect frame. There's fast service, free shipping, and it's great for gifts. Order online or get expert help at a retail location near you. And don't forget, happiness is guaranteed. If you're not 100% happy with your piece, they'll make it right. See why Framebridge has been trusted to frame over 2 million pieces. Visit framebridge.com or a local Framebridge store to get started and custom frame just about anything. That's framebridge.com.
But yeah, it's all just so revealing. And I love conversations like this, as hard as they are, because like iron sharpens iron. And even in the midst of grief and in the midst of loss and brokenness and sadness, there's still so much to be grateful for and so much to learn from.
So much. I think it's been interesting, especially with Parker.
I was going to ask you about how grief translates into motherhood.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I feel like it's translating to our relationship being stronger.
Yeah.
And me being a little bit more gentler.
Yeah.
We've always had a strong relationship, but I think that knowing his feelings and knowing what he's going through, because he's feeling a lot of adult energy and a lot of adult talk.
Yeah.
And a lot of questions. So, you know, one of his buddies came over not too long ago, and me trying to be this mom of like, because he has so many activities, so making sure all these things that he is still going through his regular days, and me grieving. But he had a buddy, I let him have a buddy come over, and his dad, and I'm really close to this family, and so I was like, hey, you know, like, just kept giving me a big hug, and he's like, are you okay? He's like, how's Parker doing? And I was like, oh, I don't know. He was like, well, Parker has talked to my son about, like, you know, what's going on. And it was just really interesting to hear, like, hey, my uncle passed away. And, you know, just telling him how he feels. And I think he's just a little confused. And so I said, hey, Pop, like, how are you feeling? He's like, well, Mom, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I just had to, like, kind of break it down to him. And I said, it's okay to be mad, to be sad, to have all the feelings. And he was like, okay. And he was just, you know, and which led us to now, I just told him, I was like, you can just, whatever you're feeling, be open with Mommy.
Yeah.
So the other night, we even just had a regular conversation about him being at school and just his feelings about his friends and all these things. So I think grieving as a parent is very hard.
Yeah, because you are a parent still.
I am still a parent.
You don't get to like sign out, like clock out of that job.
There's so many. I think the first day that I found out my brother passed, my mom texted me, and she was like, "Hey, are you going to work today?" And it was just a regular text. I'm like, "No, what's up?"
Yeah.
And then she goes, "I have something to tell you about your older brother." And I was like, Girl,
tell me now. No more like prefaces. No more introductions, no forwards.
Literally the longest text in my life when I found out. So, but when I got that text, that's when it started for me grieving as a parent, because I don't know why Mom texted me. But anyways.
Maybe that was her process.
That was her process.
Giving her grace too in that moment.
Her, because telling her other children. But I literally sprinted out of my house. Me and Parker were getting ready for school. I
cannot imagine what she was feeling as a mom.
I just laid on her. I just laid on her for the rest. I just cried and laid on her. And at that moment, I feels horrible. But I didn't think about Parker. Parker was like, Mom, where are you going? And I just...
You're like, you will survive.
You'll be okay. Just run after me. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, kid. But that's when it started. And because that's when my dad told him. I wasn't ready to tell him. But I was like, I just didn't know how to go through it.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I feel like as a parent, you just click. Like, okay, let me get into mode. And I feel like it's just
compartmentalized.
It really is.
Yeah.
But it was a moment where I had to make sure I had to tell his teachers and people around him that what he might be feeling.
Because this is his first time losing
It was his,
someone.
I think it's, so he has lost his little sister.
Oh.
Unfortunately, and I've talked about this on the podcast.
That,
If you guys don't know, Parker had, from his dad's side, he lost his baby sister. So that's a really big, and both on his dad's side, and his dad lost his best friend as well. So I think
he's familiar.
But I don't think I think it's different from a mother.
Yeah. Because he's feeling your feelings,
He's
too.
feeling my feelings.
Yeah.
And he's really close to my parents, so he's feeling their feelings. And all he always says is, I just feel so sad. I feel so bad for Nana because so many people will come over. He's like, I think she's overwhelmed, Mom.
Wow, he's so in tune.
So in tune. And I say, yeah, Papa, I think she might be. But, it's nice for people to be around and... people are just making sure that Nana and Papa are okay. But he's like, I just feel, every time we would come home from school, I just feel so bad for Nana. I just feel so bad for her. And I'm like, me too, baby.
He's very empathetic, huh?
My child is very, very empathetic.
That's a good trait.
I love that he's with my
really
little
good
empath.
Trait. Yeah. He's going to have compassion for people for the rest of his life. Like most children who have a deep sense of empathy, that stays with them.
I'm blessed that he is that way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how have you been able to, how have you been coaching him through his sadness as you're also trying to figure out your own sadness?
I think he's still, it's interesting how kids cope with things. He wants to just be at school because I asked him that day when he found out if he wanted to be at home.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. He was like, and that day he was supposed to have a play date. And I was like, Park, we can't do it today. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
But I think that he, just checking on him because he won't voice it as much. But I think he sees me go through my emotions. So me being open, like, hey, Mommy is sad today. He's like, why are you sad? Because of your uncle and those type of things. So it's just an interesting journey. And I feel like, mothers, if you guys are going through a tragic loss or just a loss in general or anything hard, we really sometimes just don't get that time to put away our
other hats.
We have to keep putting those hats on. So my hats keep going on, but at the same time, I'm allowing myself to grieve. I'm allowing myself to, if I need to cry around him or feel sad around him, I just have to let it happen.
And I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
Because the more our children see with emotions, the less afraid they are of their own.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, children are underexposed to emotions, to where when they start to develop them on their own, they're like,
what the hell is this?
They just bury them because it feels so unnatural. So the fact that Parker is seeing you cry, then if he has moments where he's sad and he cries, he'll understand that that's just human.
It's
like
just
that is
what
a
it
part
is,
of feeling, and it's okay. It doesn't make you weak to cry. It doesn't make you out of control or unable to have it all together. It's just this is my true feeling in this moment. And tears is a natural response to how my heart is feeling. So I honestly applaud you for going through the feelings around him, because you're just normalizing feelings. You're
Got to.
normalizing tears and normalizing, oh, this feels heavy, or oh, this mommy feels sad too. Like, you're not in this alone, Parker. Like, your sadness is totally shared.
Most definitely. Yeah.
So, Shanan, with your grieving, do you find parenting harder? And I only ask that because, as you know, I'm pregnant, and my first trimester, which I'm at the end of right now, has been so hard that I started to feel insufficient in a lot of moments because I just have nothing to give, like completely depleted, and just because I need more sleep in this season, my child doesn't. So I come up against those moments where I feel like I'm letting him down, and then that turns into sadness, and then it's just like it goes from the insufficiency of like, oh no, I don't feel like going to the park today, like mommy can't play because I am throwing up all day, or because I'm so nauseous. I just don't have it in me. Just don't have it in me. So I'm wondering if that kind of translates with grieving and how you've been getting through those moments of feeling like, Parker, mommy loves you so much, but she just does not have it in me. I have nothing to give.
I'm sorry you're feeling that way, Shwim. I know that's difficult having a toddler and then you dealing with your sick, like just your daily pregnancy days, you're just not feeling it. With grieving, I feel like it does feel like that, because I have my moments where Parker is this energetic boy and he has, karate during the week and all these things. Yeah. And, and then he's like, Mom, well, let's go on a walk. Let's do this. And sometimes I do have to tell him, like, hey, bud, you know what? I don't have the energy. Because sometimes, like, these last couple of days, I just want to lay in bed and just go to sleep and just lay there and just be in my own world. Yeah. So I do feel bad because I'm like, especially this week without my parents there and having a little bit of balance, but his dad has been giving me a lot of help. So, that's good. But it is hard because I'm like, but I don't want to do that right now. Yeah. Or I don't want to go outside and play basketball with you. Like, I don't have I barely have energy to go grocery shopping. So I'm just like, dude.
Oh, grocery shopping, yeah. Then it's like combating, like being honest with your feelings, but not allowing them to feel turn into like
you know, I forget. I think it was like I think it was the day that I found out, and I was taking him to school, and it was me having to tell him that we had to cancel
soccer. Oh, the play date.
We had to cancel the play date and karate. Because I was like,
Mommy can't.
I cannot. We can't. And taking, and then, probably his little feelings, processing all that. And he just, so you don't want me to have Luca to be my best friend anymore? And then I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, no, Papa, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. And then I'm like, oh, well, then we can't really do. And I called karate martial arts. He was like, so you don't know what I do, Mom?
We went there.
Yeah. Oh, he was like, oh, so he was like, Mom, it's karate. Martial arts is the whole, like, it's the umbrella of everything. And he's like,
baby, Mommy is grieving. I'm so sorry. I messed up the name of your latest hobby. I know what you do because I take you every day and I see you do it.
So it's interesting. It's, having to be gentle with like how we come off to our kids while we're going through our
because they're still kids and they have their needs and they process things feelings differently.
And like we were talking about him being such an empath, his feelings are big. Yeah. So I'm sorry that it's the same thing basically. It's just like a realm, but it's just parenting while going through something super just within ourselves is just give yourself all the gentle talk and love. I think that would be my advice for this week is gentle talk to yourself if you're going through something very hard or whatever the case may be. And I'm still learning to do that myself because being gentle with yourself is easier said than done sometimes.
And it looks different with everything you go through.
Yeah.
Like, to be gentle in yourself in a season of grieving looks very different than being gentle with yourself in a season of busyness.
Yeah.
You know, it's like two different, it's provoking very different emotions, although you're asking of the same.
Yeah.
So just like finding your groove in the grace too.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought I nailed this.
Yeah.
But like, why am I unable in this season to give myself grace? Like, what is happening?
Because at this season, I keep reading text messages wrong, so I get offended.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh shit, I read that wrong.
You're like,
I was just
my
kidding.
fault. I didn't mean to curse you out. Delete that.
It's just been really... It's been interesting, to say the least. But, I just wanted to share with you guys. I think because I posted on my Instagram today, and I was feeling that heaviness from everyone saying my condolences. And then, two, just letting you know that I am always here on the podcast, whether it's work or whatever I'm going through. But... my energy is always here, and that's why I wasn't here last week. I was processing, understanding, and I'm still in that season, but still going through it.
Yeah. How do you feel now that you've spoken about it?
I think on this level and sharing with a large audience.
God knows how many.
Yeah. I just hope people perceive me well. I hope people can take what I said and give me grace and give me love. I think I need love right now, and I hope that I explained myself well enough of what I'm going through, and you guys don't have further questions. I think that's what I hope. Yeah. I hope that people don't, people always have questions about all the things of, why are you going through this? Why are you so silent? Why this, why that? Yeah. And I hope that me being so open about...
this answers some of the questions.
It opens up questions, or not opens up questions, but answers the questions for people listening.
Yeah. And I also hope that people respect your boundary for what you shared versus like all the things that you have not processed yet. Surrounding death is just, it's hard, and it's layered, and it takes a long time to really process it all. So once again, I'm so proud of you for sharing at this early stage of going through it.
Thank you.
You're so courageous. And I hope that people appreciate your vulnerability and don't push you,
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I think that I like that you brought that up. I hope that people understand that grieving is a process.
Yeah.
And I'm still processing a loss of a sibling and somebody that I love deeply, and my family and other people that are still processing in my circle. Yeah. So,
I love you.
Love you. Thank you. Thank you for having this talk with me.
This was healing in a lot of ways. And these conversations are important to have. Like, we can have them by ourselves all day long, but to have them on a public platform.
Yes.
I think it just encourages people, or I hope that it encourages people in their own circles to talk about the real things that people go through, and not be afraid to go deeper with their friends, and not be afraid to ask the questions that may or may not provoke emotion. But to just go deep with your friends, and when they're going through something, go through it with them. Hold their hands, let them cry, let them not have the words, but don't let that stop you from being there. I love that. Because I think friends and family are so important at this time. Yeah. Even more so. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any advice for the week.
Do you have any advice?
Well, actually, like, just based on what we were talking about, I didn't come with any advice prepared because I was going to do a WTF moment. But the advice I have for this week is what I just lived through during this conversation is when the mirror goes up, look in it. And if you got to put some Windex on it to see more clearly, then put some Windex on the mirror. But oftentimes we just become so shut down by our reflection that we...
Or even so cold.
We walk away. We push it away. But it's healthy to be challenged. It's healthy to be provoked to positive change. And that's what I'm referring to by the mirror. Like when you're talking to someone and something is stirred on the inside of you and you like kind of feel it inner prompting. It's also conviction, all those things. But to look in it and to have the hard conversations with yourself and say, like, how can I be better in this moment? Like, wow, that really touched me. What was it about it that touched me? And just, like, do that deep work.
Do the deep work, sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because you don't want what I'm going through at the moment and having those regrets. So I most definitely, I agree. I love that. I love that advice. Aww. Well, like always, don't forget to comment. I cannot speak. Comment.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Thank you.
And don't forget to tell your crew about our crew.